Hi there, this is Teresa. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to look at the person on your mind. We're going to look at Aries all the way through Pisces. Keep in mind this is a general collective reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. If you do want your own personalized in-depth reading, check out my website, TimelessDivineTarot.com. All right, let's start with Aries first. Two more shuffles. All right, Aries, the person on your mind. Aries. You could be dealing with a Virgo. We have Hermit energy. Six of Cups and the Devil. Okay, so the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Wands. You could be married to this person. You could share a home with this person. You could have been with this person for a very long time. You may have children with this person. We have Virgo energy, Capricorn energy, fire, and a little bit of water. So it looks like the person on your mind is thinking a lot about this connection. They're also very nostalgic about the past history the two of you share. This could be a very toxic connection where the two of you have a lot of, it could be vices, addictions, negative patterns or beliefs about each other. So let's clarify, why is this person in the Hermit energy? They are watching you. They feel like divine timing is at play when it comes to the connection between the two of you. They're very attracted to you. Something about the perfume or the cologne that you wear draws them back in. Tell me about the Six of Cups. Why is this here? Okay, so they're trying to adapt to a situation. So if this is somebody that you are now in a relationship with, you now share a home with, you're now married to, you are also maybe in a co-parenting dynamic with this person and their ex, and they have children with this person. You maybe have been attached to accusing your person of wanting their ex. They don't want them. So if that's been a recent fight or argument, you're trying to adapt to being a step parent now, but you still feel like your significant other or your partner is interested in their ex. They're not. Clarify the Devil. Why is the Devil here? They know that you are their person. They do feel like you are addicted to something socially. It could be recognition. It could be that they see the way you interact with people maybe on social media. Maybe you have been looking at their ex's social media that they have children with. Clarify the Four of Wands. Okay, so this is somebody who really does want to have a conversation. They do want to talk to you. They don't want to let this go. What's going to be the likely outcome for Aries and their person? What's the likely outcome? Four of Swords, the Judgment, and the Death. Bottom of the deck is the Empress. So there is definitely a co-parenting dynamic in this situation. It does look like your person is wanting to make a change. They do realize a change needs to happen in order for there to be peace. They do love you. They do want victory and success with you and this relationship. They do acknowledge that you are their person, not their ex. So if you've been feeling insecure, you've been questioning or doubting your person's loyalty to you, or you've been accusing them of wanting to go back to their ex, they do not. All right, let's get a card of advice for Aries. Which one do I want to use? Let's use the Unicorn deck. What is the advice for Aries placements dealing with this situation? Relax, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry, everything is going to work out just fine. Okay, let's move on to Taurus. Taurus, if you want your own personalized in-depth reading, check out my website, TimelessDivineTarot.com. All right, Taurus, the person on your mind, what's going on in their energy? Taurus placements. Five of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Four of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Devil. Okay, you may be dealing with an Aries. You may have Aries in your chart. Check out Aries. I just did Aries. They also had Four of Wands and the Devil. So your person feels like the person on your mind is somebody you could have a family with, you could have history with, you could share a home with, you could be married to, you could be obsessed with the idea of having these things. There's definitely a fight energy here. Fight or flight is what I'm hearing. Why is the Five of Wands here? Let's clarify. For Taurus's person, they want to make amends, but they're hiding their true feelings, that they feel like the situation is very flawed between the two of you. So there is a disruption. What is this flawed situation between the two of you? What is this? Clarify flawed situation. Okay, they want to start over, but the problem is this person doesn't know how to cope when there's problems, so they actually go silent. So when the two of you get into a fight or an argument or a disagreement, instead of them coming to you and trying to talk it out, trying to work it through, they actually end up walking away. They end up going silent. They avoid, and that's part of the flaw of the situation. They want to make amends, but they don't really know how to make amends. Why is the Ten of Pentacles here? Clarify the Ten of Pentacles. They left the home because they got clouded. The situation was so heavy that they just put their head in the clouds. They tried to avoid it. They tried to act like it didn't exist, and it caused more problems than it did resolution. Why is the Four of Wands here? Clarify the Four of Wands. They want to be honest with you that they do desire peace and that they were self-sabotaging of the situation. Why is the Devil at the bottom of the deck? Why is the Devil here? The bond the two of you have, it does scare them. It does spook this person. They've not had this clear of a relationship with anyone before. And the idea of being vulnerable kind of freaks this person out. And it looks like they do want to apologize about that. So let's see what's going to be the likely outcome for the person on your mind, Taurus. We've got the Ten of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Moon. Yeah, we've got the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Children could have been a factor. You may have a child. They may have a child. Maybe your children don't get along. That could have been part of the problem that caused a lot of the fight and the conflict. It could be that you favor one of the children, they favor the other, and you're at odds. I do see there is communication coming in. This person does feel very strong emotions. There's a sense of, you know what, I feel defeated. I want to let this go, but I know I need to reach out in order to let that go. So I do see that there will be communication coming in. Let's get a card of advice for Taurus. What is the best advice? What is the guidance for those with Taurus placements that you need to know? Imagine, what would you see, feel, think, and hear if your wishes could come true? This is part of visualization, which is a part of your thoughts, creating your reality. You need to visualize and imagine, what do you want the outcome to be? Because what you focus on with that visualization is what you can manifest in the situation. That's why it's your advice. Gemini, if you want your own personalized in-depth reading, check out my website, TimelessDivineTarot.com. All right, Gemini, the person on your mind, what's going on with them? What's going on with Gemini's person on their mind? Okay, we've got Virgo, Hermit energy coming out first. Gemini. The Knight of Pentacles. The Ten of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Swords. Your person is really stressed out. They're thinking a lot about the situation or the circumstances between the two of you. They are feeling like you're not being practical with them, or maybe it's not practical for the two of you to stay together. The trust has been compromised at some point. There's a sense of black clouded heaviness this person is thinking or feeling. They had invested maybe a lot in the situation and it has not worked. You could have lied to this person. They could have felt like you deceived them. Maybe you sold them a dream of what life would be like with you, and it was actually very different. Clarify the Hermit. Something's being illuminated to them about the deception. Yeah, they thought things were going to work out, but there's also could be you maybe lied about money. Maybe you took money from the bank account if you guys share a joint bank account, or you maybe borrowed money from them and you said it's for one thing, but it was for something else. Maybe you're borrowing money for your kids to give to your kids, or to use it for something else. So this person feels like you lied to them about something to do with the money. Clarify the Knight of Pentacles. This person feels like you're not being practical and logical. They're watching what you're doing, and it was unexpected. Whatever this deception was that you did do to them, Gemini, they did not see it coming. Why is the Ten of Wands here? Clarify the Ten of Wands. They're holding on to you, but they're not making this a priority to come to you. So they think about you, they want to be with you, but they don't want to come towards you because of the deception. They don't trust you. Clarify the 9 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. They're not ready. They feel like they've hit rock bottom. They feel like they're confused because they feel like this is maybe a karmic cycle the two of you have been through before. So let's clarify, or let's find out what's going to be the likely outcome between you and this person on your mind, Gemini. The Magician, the 4 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. Bottom of the deck is the 9 of Pentacles. 9s could be significant. I just heard that song, This Magic Moment. Your lips and something mine could last forever. So this person wants to manifest what they want, and they wish that things would be different. They're still holding on to you, but they're holding back. They're also, if you had a joint bank account, they maybe have changed the bank account and now they're saving their money. They're not allowing you access. There's an independence energy here when it comes to the finances. They want their money separate from yours. Okay. Let's get you a card of advice, Gemini. What is the best piece of advice? What is the guidance that you need to know, you need to hear that's going to serve your highest good? Love heals fear. The power of your love can help bullies and angry people to be less afraid. So you may have to love your person through understanding if you were deceptive as to why you felt you needed to be deceptive and that you couldn't be fully honest with your person. Cancer. If you want your own personalized in-depth reading, check out my website, TimelessDivineTarot.com. All right, Cancer, the person on your mind, what's going on in your energy, Cancer. We've got the 2 of Swords coming out first, the Ace of Cups, the Moon. The bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Wands. Cancer, your person's a little bit confused. This could be a newer connection. They could feel a little bit reluctant to really give you an opportunity or an offer of love. There's something maybe their intuition is telling them that is making them feel confused. They don't necessarily trust the situation. Clarify the 2 of Swords. Why is the 2 of Swords here? This is somebody who, they might be stringing you along because they just really are not sure that they want love. Clarify the Ace of Cups. This is a newer person. They get triggered when you say stuff about, oh, we should be in a relationship, or oh, we should settle down and get married and have family, or we should live together. You're saying something about going from 0 to 10 really rapidly. It's triggering this person. Clarify the Moon. They're not telling you something. They're keeping it a secret. Clarify the Moon. Why is the Moon here for Cancer's person? This could be a cycle that they have not told you they've been through before. They want to tell you the truth that they feel triggered when you say something about settling down. Why is the 9 of Wands here? This person's been through something in the past. Okay, they're in maybe the middle of a legal battle, a legal separation. They could be going through a divorce themselves, and they're not fully out of that divorce. And you talking about getting married, having a family, buying a home, it's triggering this person, and it's making them feel like they're not sure if they really want this. All right, what's going to be the likely outcome here for Cancer and their person? The Hangman could be dealing with the Pisces, a Cancer, the 9 of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the 3 of Pentacles. You know, this person, you may work with this person. Maybe you met this person at work. I do see that they're not willing to sacrifice their independence. They're wanting to stay single and independent. They're also wanting to really focus on their money and their finances and potentially their career. Okay, well, let's get a card of advice for Cancer. What is the best piece of advice? What is the guidance that you need to know? You need to hear, Cancer, that's going to serve your highest good. Cancer. Decide. It's time to clearly make a decision about what do you want. What do you want when it comes to this situation? You need to make a decision because this person may not want the same thing that you want. Don't want what they want what you want. So you have to decide what it is that you truly want. Leo, If you want your own personalized in-depth reading, check out my website, TimelessDivineTarot.com. All right, Leo, the person on your mind, what is going on in their energy? Leo's person. Person on your mind, Leo, what's going on with them? We've got the Four of Swords, the World, and the Eight of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the King of Pentacles. Your person is trying to get to a place of peace. They could have a lot of stress and anxiety in the past. They are a little bit caught up in their head about something. So let's find out what's going on, because they're trying to transition from one cycle to another. They're trying to let something go and get into a place of peace and comfort. They could be doing a lot of praying right now also. Clarify, why is the Four of Swords in Leo's person's energy? They have some communication about commitment that they have not addressed with you yet. There's a lot of misunderstandings that maybe have happened in the past. This person is wanting to close out the cycle and start a new cycle with the World. Clarify the World. They want you to be patient with them. They feel like the two of you are not over. They're not moving on from you, but they feel like things are not where they need to be. Maybe you're asking for something from this person right now when it comes to commitment, and there's a misunderstanding. This person's not able to give you maybe what you want or what you're desiring. Clarify the Eight of Swords. They feel like a victim. They feel caught up in their head. There's a lot of thinking. This person could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. They could be a little bit fed up and wondering if you're pushing them so hard for something that maybe they need to just end the relationship and they should be done with it. Now, we do have the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, so they're definitely thinking about their career and their finances. They're trying to become financially stable. They're a little bit confused about what they should do about your connection or your situation, because they are worried and fearful that they don't really want to maybe move on from you, because they feel there is unfinished business, but they could be fed up with you wanting something when it comes to this commitment. So let's see what's going to be the likely outcome when it comes to Leo and their person. What's going to be the most likely outcome here for the person on Leo's mind? We have the Ace of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Knight of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Wands. So I see there clearly is a choice and decision impulsively that maybe there's too much pressure, too much burden. You could be dealing with another Leo. You could also be dealing with a water sign. This person does love you. They do have strong feelings and emotions for you. They're very excited to make a decision, but it looks like they need to clear something out. So they're needing to make a choice and decision rapidly about clearing something out. Maybe they need to clearly speak what these thoughts are. That Ten of Wands, there's a lot of pressure for this person. Clarify that Ten of Wands. Why is the Ten of Wands here? That could be the cycle of the past they want to close out. Yeah, we've got the Empress. You could have a child with this person or children with this person. This person wants to clearly nurture the connection, but they need to close something out in order to do that. It could be this misunderstanding about commitment from the past. All right, well, let's get a card of advice for Leo placements. What is the best advice? What is the guidance you need to know, you need to hear, that's going to serve your highest good, Leo? Definitely yes. So if you're asking yourself a question in regards to this person on your mind, Spirit is saying the answer is a definite yes in regards to whatever that question is. All right, Virgo. If you want your own personalized in-depth reading, check out my website, TimelessDivineTarot.com. All right, Virgo, the person on your mind, what's going on in their energy? Virgo placements, you could be dealing with an Aries. I kept seeing the Emperor wanted to come out. Person on your mind, we've got the High Priestess, Taurus energy, Eight of Cups, water placement, and Two of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Seven of Cups. Virgo, your person is using their intuition, trying to make a decision about if they should walk away, they should go into the unknown. There's a sense of uncertainty about the future. They're evaluating below the surface their choices and their options. So let's clarify what this is. Why is Virgo's person's energy the High Priestess? Why are they using their intuition, secretly trying to analyze what they should do in the situation? Why is the High Priestess here? This person is holding on to you, but they're also holding on to you with a brave face, faking that they're contemplating walking away. Why is the Eight of Cups here, Virgo's person? They're trying to figure out what they deserve. and they don't really know what they want yet. They're trying to decide if they want to move on from this and relocate and go in a different direction. Why is the Two of Wands here? They feel very protective. They also feel under pressure. They're reluctant to tell you that they feel this pressure of trying to make a choice and make a decision. Why is the Seven of Cups here for Virgo's person on their mind? They fear that they've made some type of promise to feel inspired to maybe stay in the situation because they're holding on to you, but they also fear that if you find out they're thinking about making a different choice, you would be upset about it, okay? Well, let's see what's gonna happen. What's gonna be the most likely outcome for Virgo's person on their mind? Page of Wands, Six of Cups, Seven of Wands, and we've got the Hangman. So it looks like there is communication coming from this person. They're gonna let you know what, I love you unconditionally. We have history, maybe we have a past life together, but I need to let something go. And it could be that this person is needing to let go of this defensive energy. They could be pushing you away. Maybe they've been pushing you away and they need to let that go. And they need to just go towards the future and trust their intuition that they're promising themselves that they want this. There's something that this person needs to surrender. They need to let go, that maybe it's a thought or a belief, a pattern, a negative expectation in the situation. All right, let's get some advice for Virgo. Let me get a drink. All right, Virgo. What is the best piece of advice? What is the guidance that you need to know, that you need to hear, that's going to serve your highest good? All right, Virgo. Love from your parents. No matter what, your mother and father love you as much as they can. Your parents could be involved in the situation. Your parents may be somebody or people that are very supportive of you. So love from your parents. Libra, if you want your own personalized in-depth reading, check out my website, TimelessDivineTarot.com. You could be dealing with a third-party situation, Libra. I'm seeing the number 99. I don't know what that means. The person on Libra's mind, what is going on in their energy? We have the Queen of Wands, fire energy. There's the Three of Swords. That was the third party I felt. And here's the Eight of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Pentacles. So your person on your mind is confident that you've put them into a third party situation or position with a coworker, that you have abandoned them or left them to go be with a coworker, or it could be that you've chosen your job or your career, your boss, your work life, your business over them. So let's clarify. Why is Libra's person on their mind in the Queen of Wands? They're very confident about this energy. Why are they so confident? They have opened up to you that your circumstances have been damaged in your relationship for whatever this is, the work or this third party. What is this Three of Swords here? What is the Three of Swords for Libra's person on their mind? Clarify the Three of Swords. They're heartbroken because they feel like you maybe messed up by not celebrating something with them that was really significant, a milestone in their life. You went to be with a coworker, you went to work, you went to be with somebody else that was a work colleague. Maybe it was your birthday and they chose to spend it with somebody else. Okay, clarify the Eight of Pentacles. Work is a factor here, or work colleague. Your person may want to try to work it out. There's an acceptance here. They do miss you. They have a little bit of anxiety over the situation. They have accepted what they did when it comes to the situation. They abandoned it. We do have the Five of Pentacles, bottom of the deck. Clarify why they abandoned your connection, your relationship, your situation. This person was really selfish. They were focused on their own needs. They were not focused on yours. There's a wound that was created within your relationship at some given point that made this person feel justified. They justified their actions of participating on something that was supposed to be really significant, a milestone. Maybe you were being promoted at work. There was a celebration party. Maybe there was a work party that you wanted your person to go to and they chose not to. And maybe it was even like a birthday party with your family and your friends. There was some celebration you went to, you wanted your person there, they weren't there, they chose someone else, or to be with somebody else, or to go to work. And because of that, you are recognizing, you opened up that this has damaged your relationship. It has damaged your connection with this person. And your person was focused on their own needs. They were being very selfish, and they felt like they could just bounce back from this selfish energy after abandoning the situation. So let's see what's going to be the likely outcome for Libra and their person. What's going to be the most likely outcome here? Nine of Swords, Hierophant. You could be married to this person. Page of Cups. They are coming in with an apology. We got the Magician at the bottom of the deck. They have anxiety, they have stress, they have worry that they have messed up this relationship. They've learned their lesson that they did mess up. They did choose someone else over you, and that they did create damage. Now, they're going to tell you that there's something from the past as to why they did that. So, for example, let's say you got into a fight years ago, you made a comment, but they've held on to that comment. They never really forgave it, and they've stored it kind of deep in their heart. They're going to bring that up as to justify as to why they've done what they've done. Okay, well, let's get you some advice. What is the advice? What is the guidance for Libra placements at this time? What is it you need to know? What is it you need to hear that's going to serve your highest good? Libra. Okay, you got two. First one is one step at a time. Lots of little steps make big dreams come true. So this may be something that you and your person may have to slowly take steps to reinforce or rebuild the structure that has cracks in the foundation. And creative. Draw, paint, think, and act in creative ways. This may be something that you will have to do. Find a creative outlet for these feelings and emotions of what you've experienced with this person. All right, let's move on to Scorpio. If you want your own personalized in-depth reading, check out my website, TimelessDivineTarot.com. All right, Scorpio, the person on your mind, what's going on in their energy? Scorpio. We've got the World, the Strength card, Leo energy, Aquarius energy, Ace of Wands, and we've got the Queen of Wands. Could be dealing with a fire sign. Heavy Leo energy in this. So your person on your mind is feeling like it's time to close something out, to let something go, and have a passionate new beginning. They're very confident and strong about that. Let's clarify. Why is the World card here for Scorpio's person's energy? Why is the World here? This is a situation where your person was not willing to change something in the past, and they were very strong and adamant they were not changing something. Well, since then they've gained some knowledge and wisdom about that change that they should have made, and now they're very strong, realizing their intuition is telling them after introspection that they do need to make the change. Maybe it's their ego, maybe it's their pride, maybe it's they've been very self-driven, self-focused, and not focused on your needs, but only focused on their own needs. And they're actually obsessed with the idea of coming back together with you. So if you're in separation, they want to start over with that Ace of Wands. They know that the trust has been compromised. They know that they're a walking red flag. They know they act like they don't care. But the truth is, confidently, they want to start over. They have not given up. They do have other options. So if you're wondering, do they have other options? Yeah, they do. Everybody has options. If you want options, there's options out there. But the option they want is you. They don't want anyone else. All right, so let's find out what's going to happen here with Scorpio and their person. What's the likely outcome here? Eight of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles, heavy earth energy here. Fire and earth. And Four of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Six of Cups. They still love you unconditionally. They want to work on this. They want to figure out a way to bring stability and security back into the relationship. They're praying. They're getting maybe guidance. Maybe they're doing a lot of meditating, trying to understand from their higher self what they should do to bring this back around. All right. Let's get a piece of advice for Scorpio. What is the best piece of advice? What is the guidance you need to know? What is it you need to hear that's going to serve your highest good, Scorpio? pets. You love and understand animals. You may need to be connecting with animals right now. It's going to help you. Animals are very, very therapeutic, whether it's out in nature or you have your own pets. Your pets are going to be there for you, or pets are something that's significant for you.